Hello, everybody. Give everybody a couple minutes to log on and get folks in from the waiting room. Got a very energetic karate class going on downstairs, so you might hear the kids in the background. All right. Well, we are getting everybody in from the waiting room and getting ready to go. We're going to kick the meeting off. Well, first of all, don't forget to clock in. If you haven't, do it now. I'm recording. These are my little check buttons. Clock in, we're recording, check, check. We're going to start off with snaps like we always do. So snaps is just an opportunity to shout out if you had something from this month. God, I can't believe it's been a month since we've met. Feels like, I mean, I guess we did Bazaar meeting yesterday, so that's why it feels like our last week. That's why it feels like it wasn't that long ago. But snaps is just an opportunity to shout it out if you saw one of your team members do something awesome this past month. If you did something awesome and you want to like give yourself a little snaps, whatever it is, it's just here to like shout it out. So Trina, you look like you want to kick us off.
Andrea and Angela, as far as the rig changing people, they're my heroes.
Yes.
I'm lucky to have you guys in my life. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yay, thanks for sharing, Trina. Thank you guys for helping each other out on that. I know it can be stressful. And I know that sometimes it takes a village for those things. So thanks for sharing, Trina. All right, anyone else dying to go? Got some snaps?
I do. I was just wanted to say, oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Angela. Go for it.
Go, Angela. We'll
I
get
just
Kelly
wanted to
next.
say to Alicia, I'm very proud of how amazing she's been doing with getting classes on the schedule for upcoming classes. And I know you and Christine and Alicia have been doing that. So just a way to go, because it's been awesome to be able to tell people, hey, go sign up for what's coming. So really appreciate all the effort.
Yes, love it. Thanks for sharing, Angela. I am right there with you on that. Alicia's been killing it. I'm super appreciative of Alicia because I don't have to do those anymore, which makes me very happy. And she's doing a really great job. And I know it's a lot of work. If some of you guys may be on the other side of, her poking you and saying, "Hey, get me your stuff." It's just a lot of coordination. So keep working with her and encouraging her. She's doing a good job. And there's a lot of moving parts with mind body and getting those in there. But it's super important, like Angela said, because it's going to help our students get enrolled sooner. And the more time leeway we have to get those on the schedule, the more we can promote them, which is huge, right? So we can actually get people in those classes. So awesome. Thanks for sharing. All right, Kelly, were you up next?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I don't know who's designing the retail space, but it's looking really good and that desk is beautiful. So it's really nice entrance. Snaps to who's ever working on that.
Snaps to Andrea for sure, and snaps to Jorgen, one of our clients who built that beautiful desk for us, which we're really excited about. Snaps to everybody who's been helping out, my family who did some decorating with me, and my husband, Mike, who's not here, obviously, who I consider part of our team, who's been doing a lot of stuff around the studio. He's been hanging mirrors and he's like my little handyman. So if you see Mike around the studio, tell him thank you. He's going to be hanging up the rigging points for our aerial yoga and all kinds of things that he probably doesn't love doing, but he does because he loves all of us. So, so yes, thank you, Kelly. All right, anyone else got snaps? I got lots of snaps. Snaps to Angela. Oh, Angela's doing a beautiful job at putting lights and decorations up outside. So big snaps to her for that and for so many other things. She's been working really hard getting ready for Holiday Bazaar, and working with our kids programs and our adults. Like Angela's got a lot of balls in the air. So thank you, Angela, for all that you do. And just, let's see, what else? Anything else? I'm sure there'll be other stuff that comes up in my, as I go through what we're going to talk about this evening. But thanks to all you guys. As always, I am tremendously grateful for this space and for all of our clients and students and all of you here putting in work to make it happen, because we couldn't do it without the peoples. Without the peoples, we need the peoples. So, okay, we're going to move on unless anybody's dying to add anything else to financial forecast. I'm just going to share with you guys my screen. Bear with me here while I get it up. Okay, so this is our MindBody Analytics. And it's been a while since I've shared this stuff with you guys, not because I don't want to share it with you all the time, but we've just been working on other things. So I just want to give you a little snapshot of sales here at the studio, and just also talk a little bit about some trends and things that we're seeing. So for this month, so this pie chart compares to this time last year. And I have to say that we're still, our analytics, so like the data that we're looking at is still sort of all over the place, because we had basically 2 years of COVID that we're emerging from, and then last year being a big snow year. I don't know how accurate our data is. We're very beholden to what happens with the snow and seasonality around here. So I kind of take this as, and we'll look at this in a little bit broader picture in a minute, but I kind of take this as, you know, the snow hasn't really been flying yet. People are looking for other things to do, which is great. So our total sales are up 56% from this time last year, which is awesome. But you'll see in a minute when we talk about, when we look at the bigger picture, that we're kind of holding steady, honestly, when all is said and done. Product sales is up, which is exciting. I'm hoping, because we have a retail space to show them off a little bit more. Contract sales, we don't do a ton of contract sales. We don't do, contracts are like, there's just a couple pricing options that we have, like auto debit stuff, but we don't use them very often. Online bookings is up 57%, kind of tracking with the total sales, but the online bookings can also be a really unique number to look at. And I am going to say, like, this is a big win for us, because this is our students like signing themselves up and paying for things by themselves that we don't have to do the work to do, which is a good thing, right? Attendance, oddly, down 26%. Again, this can also be based off of class numbers. It can be weather dependent. It can be also very dependent on what sort of enrollments and things we have going on. And then first visits are up 23%, which is good. That means we're getting some new folks in the door. Pie chart is just another way to look at this. So our pie chart's pretty well diverse. We have a diverse, we have diverse offerings, let's put it that way, which is a good thing. Membership is the blue there, coming in at 20%. So that's unlimited membership and class packs for classes. Youth programs coming in at 16%. That's all youth programs. Personal training coming in at 13%. Aerial coming in at 11%. So that will be adult aerial stuff, not including youth. Classes on, so this is like ongoing classes, and I'm sorry, it's separate from the membership. This is like class packs, and the membership tends to be unlimiteds. Enrollments are courses that are not necessarily in the aerial bucket. And then our teacher training. Funny, I'm like, how do we have $900 in teacher training? I'll have to go look at that. I know we sold at least one spot for our aerial yoga teacher training, so I know that's part of that. Workshops, weekly classes. So there's like some funny little buckets here. The weekly classes and classes should be connected. We just need to figure out what is still in that weekly classes bucket. Private lessons at 2% and other at 3%. So there's a little breakdown of categories there. And then as we go down here, we have sales. So this is kind of what I wanted you guys to see in relation to past years. So 2021 is the blue. 2022 is the yellow, 2023 is the red. So we are here in December, and we've had some big fluctuations. So like you can see in like July, we were up, then August we were way down, September we were down, October we were down, November we were pretty holding steady, up a tiny bit. And right here we're tracking on the low end, but we just got into December. So when all is said and done, honestly, I think we're holding pretty steady. And then online bookings is this next little chart down below here, which again, this one I think is a little bit better. They're going up, which is good. And I think a lot of that has to do with us utilizing MindBody better more than anything else. These are active memberships, pretty steady. This is a really good indicator right here. This is last year. We're like literally right on track with last year with active memberships. So we'd like to see those go up. Attendance by month is the next one here. These ones in the summer are very affected by circus camp, by the way. That's why you see big numbers in the summer oftentimes. So I just want to give you guys a little like visual of what's going on studio wise. Looking at the sales, I want you guys to think about our rent is like half of this. Okay. And then pretty much the rest, the other half is going to staff members right now. It's going to our team members. We're not raking in the dough by any means, and we have opportunities for sure in our total sales. So does anyone have any questions, comments, thoughts about any of that?
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. It's really interesting. So that's not the year-end financials. That's just comparing this month to this month last year.
Yeah, not year end necessarily, but it's like an like what's happening right now in relation to what was happening this time last year. And then the
Yeah.
other little charts are they show more like you can see the more annual based off of that. We can adjust that little pie chart to show us whatever time frame we wanted to. But I think it's helpful to look at last year in relation. We could also look at last month. I'd like to share this with you guys monthly if I can, but I just don't always have the time or space or bandwidth to do it. And Kelly, I know you're new to our team, and for all of you guys, like I am literally a financial open book. Like I will show you everything we are spending our money on. And so if you ever have questions, come and see me. I'll show you. I'll tell you how I'm not making a paycheck currently, and I'd really like to. So
Well, I just wanted, I do financials for my company too. And like any way I can support you, because I think we want you to have a paycheck and we want you to have that support. So, if you do want to share it with us, I'm definitely committed to like looking with a careful eye, and if there's anything I can provide feedback on. But
love that.
yeah, I
Thank
mean,
you.
it looks good, and it's great to see some progress and people showing up, and yeah, lots of offerings this year.
Yeah, we have so many good things to share with our students and with our clients. We have so much opportunity, right? So much opportunity. Another really interesting thing that you guys might not know about in MindBody, MindBody has a lot of data that we can draw off of. But if you look at our classes schedule, for example, I'm going to share my screen with you guys again. Let's see. Where is my screen share? There it is. If you look at our classes schedule here at the bottom, you can see total classes this week, 42. Total attendance is 15. That was total registered. Total signed, this is for this week. So this week obviously just started, so don't freak out by this. Total attendance, 463. That's how many people, capacity. That's how many people we could have in these classes. Our capacity utilization for this week so far is 1.94. Let's look at last week because that'll give us a little bit better view of what's really going on here. So our capacity utilization was 15.6. So 100% would be like we are filling every single spot that we have available. If we could even get that up like 10%, I'd be happy, right? So we have lots and lots of opportunity to fill those spaces. And it's a little skewed because the Ritz is in here, but not too crazy far off the mark, honestly. And Andrea, you have a question?
Oh, more just a comment. Hi. I just wanted to say, yes, I appreciate the sharing the financials as well, because I know, like, as a fellow business owner, how hard that is to do and kind of scary. But I think it's really helpful for us to see where the money's going and to be aware that there's probably all kinds of things that we'd all love to upgrade or have more of or have new of, but that their choices have to be made. And so I just think it's helpful for us to see that and for us all to remember that when we think about all the things that we like really, 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 really want. We know that there's a kind of a there's a priority list of things that have to get done before the others. So just wanted to say thank you.
Thanks for sharing, Andrea. And exactly, I mean, that's one of the main reasons I like to share this with you guys is like, I know we all want, brand new shiny things, or we need certain things for our classes or whatever. And we want to give you guys, I want to give you guys all those things. Trust me. I want you to have all the brand new shiny things. But it takes time. So just to give you some perspective, for example, Jules and I have been talking about aerial yoga probably for at least a year, maybe longer. And we're finally making it happen. Like I'm finally able, I have to like spread out the purchasing these big items, right? Because
I actually don't think that's that's awesome to get that done in a year.
yes,
Like,
thank
that's
you, Kelly.
great. Yeah, it takes like a year of planning to make these kind of things happen. Like that's awesome.
Thank you. Perspective is really valuable because sometimes we like get in the trenches and we're like, oh man, like I've been asking for this thing for months and it's not here. And something like, especially like the aerial it's an investment. It's a big investment for us and for the studio. Some other things we've been investing in are space, right? Like we just tore that wall down. We just took over a whole nother space next door. I bought a sauna and a bunch of retail products. Spent a lot of money. And that is not money I'm going to be getting back very soon. So, be patient with us. And the more you guys can help us with the sales piece, the more success the business is going to have. And I want to kind of segue this into pricing and talk a little bit about pricing if you guys are game for that. So you can kind of understand where our heads are at, or where my head is at with pricing, where our leadership team is at with pricing. And also I want to explain some things to you guys that I think will be helpful for you when you're talking to your clients, because it's so, so important that you guys understand our pricing structure, because you are the ones who see all the students, right? Like I'm teaching, I don't know, maybe 4 classes a week sometimes at most. I don't have as much touch points with the students as I used to, which is like an awesome thing because I'm so stoked you guys are all out there doing the teaching and having the touch points with our clients. But then I also don't get to talk about some of these, higher up things that you guys might not be thinking about because you're like, I'm in here, I'm teaching my class. So does anyone have any other big picture financial questions before I dive into pricing? Okay, cool. All right, let's see. Where was I? Back to my notes. I lost them. Sorry, I got too many screens open. Okay, big picture pricing. Okay, so we really have 2 buckets. And I know for some of you guys, this is redundant information, but please bear with me. For those of you that this is new, great. We can always learn something about pricing. We really have 2 buckets at the studio. We have our classes, which include unlimited memberships and class packs, which are 5, 10, and 20 class packs. And then we have courses, which are our aerial stuff primarily, sometimes other things. So if you're looking at I like to think about it when we look at the website, because this seems to be like the easiest way for me personally to digest it. I'm very much a visual person. So if this is helpful for you when you're talking to your students, great. I'm going to share my screen again. I like directing people to the website because I think it's easy to look at and easy to understand when I'm talking about pricing with students. So under membership, they can click on that little membership tab. And here we're talking about classes. right? Our ongoing classes. So we've got our 59 unlimited intro special. This is for anybody who wants to try out all of the things on the classes schedule for a month for $59. Killer deal. Cool. After that, unlimited membership. 1 month unlimited is $137, 3 months $330, 6 months $495. So those are their options for unlimited. This includes unlimited classes, fitness, dance, yoga, drop-in aerial, right? Open aerial gym, and gym access, so they can use the gym on their own. Then we have class packs. So we've got our 5, our 10, and our 20. So our class packs are for people who are only coming to classes and they don't get gym access with that. So there's benefits and drawbacks of all of these, and you'll notice I didn't even talk about drop-ins. Drop-ins are an option as well. And drop-ins are $28. It's a way better deal for your students to do unlimited or do a 5 class pack or a 10 class pack or a 20 class pack for ongoing classes, okay? When it comes to our thought process behind that, we want to reward loyalty, okay? And on top of that, we know, you guys all know, when a student shows up consistently, they have better outcomes, right? So it's a win-win situation. We're going to incentivize them to spend a little bit more, but show up more because they're going to have better outcomes from that. You're going to get to teach them more. They're going to feel more successful. It's a win-win situation with that. Although this is funny because recently I was listening to some podcasts and they were like, if somebody says it's a win-win, run the other way. But anyways, long story short, we get to do what we love to do more and what we're good at, and our clients get better outcomes. So that's where the incentivization for them showing up and buying an unlimited. Can they buy a drop-in? Absolutely. But those people are going to pay $28 to come to a class. And that is like such a simple thing to say, like, hey guys, I want to see you in class more. If you buy a 5 class pack, what does it come out to? $18 a class, I think. It's a way better deal. Okay. So those are classes and unlimiteds. Does anyone have questions about that bucket? Okay, cool. Let's talk about courses. So our courses, let's go ahead and share my screen again, live on the website under courses, and you can choose Aerial Arts is going to have this Aerial Arts and More page is going to have everything on it in one place. So these are our commitment-based classes, could also be workshops, which are like one-offs, sometimes more than one-offs, right? So here, the difference with this specific bucket is that we can set different pricing for this. For most of our aerial stuff, there is a 5 course pack, or there's a 25 course pack. Our aerial program is based off of 5 aerial basics, right? So that's why we sell a 25 course pack or class pack for the courses, because then they can do all of the basics with just one pack. But this is also a good option for our students who take a lot of aerial classes, right? It's because they're going to save money doing it that way. So I don't have these numbers memorized off the top of my head right now. I have to look in Mindbody. Sorry, bear with me here for a second, because with these ones, just everything just went up. So I'm trying to remember all the prices in my brain. The 5, it comes out to $33 a class for the 5 class pack. I know that. And then the 25, I think, comes out to $30 a class. They save. The more they buy, they save. So same thing. We're incentivizing them to buy in for these aerial classes, for whatever it is they're doing. If it's a 5-week class, we know that they're going to get more out of it if they commit, right? Let me think. Is there anything, do you guys have questions about that so far? Okay. I want to talk
Wait, I
about,
I just
Yep.
have one question too.
Yes.
And is there expiration on those pass?
Great question. Thank you for mentioning that. Yes, there is expiration on all of them. Yay, Ash got his green belt. Yay, Ash. Sorry, he just came in to tell me his green. Everybody's cheering for you, Ash. You want to show them? Show them. Show them. Yay. Congratulations, buddy. He's excited. He just went, yes. Okay, anyways. So for the sorry, gotta reset my brain here. For the classes, the class packs and the unlimiteds. Unlimiteds are pretty simple, right? If you buy a 1 month unlimited, it's good for 1 month. If you buy a 3 month unlimited, it's good for 3 months. You buy 6, it's good for 6. Class packs. The 5 class pack is good for 3 months. The 10 class pack is good for 9 months, and the 20 class pack is good for a year. Okay. And then same thing for the courses. The 5 course pack is good for 3 months, which they should use no problem, right? Because they're technically taking a 5-week class or course with that. And then the 25 is good for a year. Does that answer your question, Angela? Okay, cool. When your students are buying these in the MindBody store, it says this when they're purchasing them. It says it right there. When they're purchasing, it says expiration, and it'll tell you when this pack is set up to expire. When they get their purchase receipt, it'll say, make sure you paid attention to which pack you bought and when it expires. Do people look at those things? Probably not. So I'm pretty like chill about it with folks. What I'll usually do with our students, like if they go over and they were like, oh shoot, I didn't know that it expired in 3 months. I kind of give them like a one time, like, oh, okay, I'll make it good for another month if they reach out to me. Okay. But then I'll say, but make sure next time you pay attention because we're not doing this for you again. And then it usually is no problem. All right. All right. So I want to talk about 2 special things that we have going on right now with the aerial pricing. So with courses, when you have students who are taking aerial courses, it's typically a 5-week course. If they miss a week, they can get an open gym to replace that week. Here's how it goes. I see Kelly's eyeballs like going around. She's like, what? That makes no sense. You don't need to worry about this, Kelly. You're not teaching aerial. So I'll use Trina as an example because she's right there. I see her. Trina has a 5-week hammock course, right? And let's say Lauren Robinson is her student, and Lauren, it's every Tuesday, and say the second Tuesday of the class, Lauren can't make it because she's got to go out of town, right, with her family. So what Trina's going to do is Lauren's going to say, hey, Trina, I can't make it to class tonight. I have to go out of town with my family. And Trina's going to say, okay, Lauren, no problem. I'm going to put an open gym pass on your account. And Trina can either go in and do that herself, or she can reach out to myself or Alicia, ideally Alicia, who is the aerial director, and say, hey, can you put an open gym pass on Lauren Robinson's account because she missed class last night or whatever. And then that's it, you're done, right? Alicia's going to say, fine, she's going to put it on there. It is Lauren's responsibility to schedule that open gym for herself. Now it'll be on her account. She'll see it when it comes through because she'll get a receipt that says you've got an open gym on your account. She can go into her MindBody app and schedule that open gym whenever it makes sense for her. It's going to be good for 3 months from the day that it gets on her account. Okay. Yes, Trina.
Unmute. Is it just for if they miss one class per course? If
Yes.
they miss the second, they don't get it, right?
Correct. So they can make up one class per course with an open gym credit. Okay. Again, we want to incentivize them to come and work out and practice their skills, but we also want to hold their feet to the fire a little bit because it matters that they're missing that many classes, right? So they're not going to have the best outcome. And in that case, it becomes challenging for us because the student can come back and say, I signed up for a 5-week course and I didn't learn the skill. But then we can go back and look and say, oh, well, you only came to 2 of the 5. So whose fault is that, right? Like maybe next time you should make sure that you can come to all the classes because we know that you being here and practicing and getting that progression is really important. Okay. So when you guys are talking to your new students or your students that are coming into your it's probably mostly basics enrollments or students who have never, you're going to have to tell them like, hey, this is a 5-week course for a reason because these skills build on top of each other and you're going to get more out of it if you show up to all these. Okay. Does anyone have questions about the open gym?
And how long do they have to use that open gym?
3 months.
That's right. Got it.
And then it's on them because we don't want to do extra work for this, right? Because the students already paid, you're already teaching your class, you've already have a curriculum you worked really hard on. Like we don't need to do a bunch of extra work. They should be able to sign themselves up. Okay. All right, I'm going to move on from the open gym makeup and I want to talk about BOGO. Okay. So the BOGO 5 that we have going on right now is good for 5 class packs. So that's for ongoing classes, 5 class packs, or 5 class courses, including adult aerial basics, poi, and flexibility. So Elizabeth's 2 classes that she has on there. We are going to use the BOGO to get new students in. This is what we want out of the BOGO. So we're already incentivizing our existing students by giving them deals when they buy in, right? When they show up, when they commit. We're like, you want a discount? Buy that 10-pack because it's a killer deal, right? So how are we going to get new students in? This is what our BOGO is for. So it's a great opportunity to be like, oh, I've been dying to try this and I want to bring my friend with me. Awesome for those 5 class aerial basics. Awesome for anything else we have on the class schedule, right? So those are good for. I haven't talked about youth at all. I'm not going to go down the youth spiral because I think that's a little bit more for specific teachers, but does anyone have questions about BOGO or any of the pricing stuff?
How does BOGO get bought out in MindBody?
Okay, so I'll show you. It's really very, very simple. The best thing for you guys to do, again, is to direct your students to the website. So you're going to say, when they're like, oh, I heard about this, I'm interested, or you say, hey, I want to tell you about this BOGO thing, tell them to go to the website because it's all laid out right here at tahoflow.com/BOGO5. Okay. Here's what you get. Classes, 5 ongoing in-person fitness, yoga, dance classes, and I can't put every single class there. Courses, 5 scheduled classes for adult courses like aerial basics, active flexibility, poi, and flow. So these buttons are where they can buy these pricing options. Okay. So they're like, I really want it. It's one or the other, not both, right? I really want to do classes or I really want to do this course. Cool. How it works. Buy your 5-pack. Once you make your purchase, you have to email us, tell us your friend's full name, phone number, and email address, and we'll add a credit to their account so they can also sign up. And then these buttons down here at the bottom will allow them to sign up for whatever they want to sign up once they've purchased it. They can actually just go directly to the sign up. If they go directly to the sign up button and say they get the 5 class pack through the sign up, they can just buy it there and then they'll sign up directly for classes. But this way, sometimes people, because in Mindbody, you can buy stuff in the online store and not apply it directly. So it just kind of depends on how they come to the 5-class pack. If they go to the website, like I was showing you guys earlier, and they buy the 5-class pack, then they have to sign up for the classes, right? If they go through the online store like that. But it's all in this website. You don't have to go bananas trying to explain it. Just send them to the page.
What is the discount?
It's buy one, get one yeah. So you buy a 5-class pack, you get a 5-class pack for someone else, not for yourself. That's the caveat, right? Which is a great deal.
Yeah, can I add though, like even though it's for someone else, one of the really great things about class packs is that you can share them. So like you buy it, you get one free, and let's say you do have family in town, right? Or people are traveling with spouses, kids, you can bring them all on a class pack versus you can't do that on a membership, right? It's just for that one person. So it is something that we can share the pricing options with other Mindbody users.
Yeah, that's a really good point. So just for you guys so like people that have family members, they can share class packs with each other. Yeah. Cool. Any other pricing questions, comments, concerns?
I have a question.
Yes, go for it, Angela.
For that class pack for sharing, do they have to like be family on the account, or can they just be like, my friend's here and I want them to come?
Yeah, they can say
cool.
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just making sure I understand.
But we have to connect them. So
Okay, they
do
have to
need
have an
tell
account.
us. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They have to have an
Yeah.
account. They have to have a liability waiver filled out, and we
Right.
have to connect their accounts. So the person who is doing this needs to be aware that if they're going to add this person to their account, then they're sharing a pack with them.
Right. Okay.
So make sure you like them.
So
Right.
it's not just anybody. It's like they're having specific people they're sharing it with.
Right. Well, it's usually family. So the most people that are typically doing it are like for example, in our karate class, we have a family who the mom and the dad have come here and the 2 kids, right? So they can all share class packs. So like mom can come to yoga, dad can come to fitness, kids can come to karate, right?
Cool.
So we don't have a lot of people that do it like they're like, oh, this is my housemate and I want to share a class pack with them, but they could, but that's, warn them. Like you have to really like trust this person.
Well, the thing is it's not on the pack, the pricing option, and that's what you would choose is shares pricing option. That's what it says in Mindbody to get it to share, but it's on the account versus the pricing or the pack. So it's kind of forever unless they ask us to take it off.
Yeah, exactly. So we don't have many folks that do that. On occasion, like husband and wife, typically it's family. So any other pricing questions? Okay. So just so you guys know too, I have done a lot of market research. I look at what everybody else is charging, but also to me, that's just part of it. The bigger picture is we need to pay for our space and our people and all of those things. Internet, Mindbody is very expensive. Mindbody costs us about $600 a month. QuickBooks, utilities, equipment, rent, like there's a lot of overhead in running the business that I just sometimes I've been guilty of this too when I worked for other businesses. Thank you, Ash. See, karate certificates. So just know that there's a lot of things that go in, and then there's a lot of weird little office expenses, paper, wristbands, raffle tickets, like like flyers. There's so much we're paying for, and then advertising too. I do pay for Google advertising and I pay for Facebook advertising as well. and Instagram and other things sometimes too. I mean, Angela and I have been talking about radio and all these other things. Like there's a lot of overhead costs. And that's part of our pricing, that all that goes into how we choose to do our pricing. So just so you guys know, I'm happy to show you all those things if you have questions. Another little side note on pricing, it's holiday time. We do have gift certificates available. Super easy to do. I want to show this to you guys. Again, the website, I can't say it enough, is your best friend when it comes to this stuff. So if folks are like, oh, I really want to buy something for my girlfriend for Christmas, this is our homepage. You see this little gift card situation right here. So simple to do. They're going to click on that. Actually, I'm going to open, I'll show you guys what it looks like. I got to open a guest browser, else it'll just bop me into MindBody when I click on it, which is not helpful for seeing what I want to show you guys. Hold on one sec. Okay, so you say, hey, yeah, we'd love to sell you a gift card. Go to TahoeFlow.com. You're going to click on the gift cards button at the top of the screen, and then it's going to bump them over to the MindBody store. They can enter any denomination they want right here. So say they're like, oh, we want an intro. Cool, 59. Who's it to? Who's it from? Send the recipient a gift card via email. Sure. What do you want to call it? Put their email address in there. When do you want them to get it? It's so easy. They can do it all themselves right here. They can also just print it at the bottom down below. So if you guys have folks looking for gift certificates, that's the easiest way to do it. And that is gift cards. Questions about that? Okay, cool.
Can you use gift cards on retail?
You can use gift cards on anything. So it's just like a denomination. So yeah, you can buy them $100. They can spend it on whatever they want. All right, moving on. Oh, and just sort of a side note, talking about pricing and rent and all of these things, we still have a treatment room open in our other space. So it would be cool if we could get that rented out. So if you guys know anybody who's looking for office space, massage space, could be anything, chiropractor, acupuncturist, I mean, you name it, I'm open. A therapist, I talked to a therapist a couple of weeks ago, could be anybody who wants office space. And then don't forget, if you guys haven't seen it, that in the Slack feed is a Survey Monkey. I pinned it to our general tab for our winter team building. If you haven't seen it, please fill it out. As I said in the post, winter team building, not mandatory, just good time. And I hope that you will come. Does anyone have questions about the team building? Cool. We're going to do something fun, but I need to know when you can do it, and I'd like you to be there. All right, that's all I got. Does anyone have any questions about any of that stuff before I pass it over to Angela for our community outreach and marketing update?
Hey, I just had maybe a clarifying, and not to spend too much time on this because this could be an Ariel thing too, but just kind of referring to the people getting open gym for missing a class. And so we still kind of have the expectation of open gym that it's not a teaching time. So is the expectation then that student is just going to come and do what they know? Or, okay,
Yep.
I just wanted to see what that expectation was.
Yeah, that is, we really don't want folks doing things in open gym that they are not versed in, right? Because who knows who's going to be hosting open gym? Who knows if it's the teacher that's working with that student? Who knows if it's somebody that can help them with what they're doing or not, you know? So we want students to use it as conditioning time and fine-tuning existing skills. It's not for learning, okay? That includes from Instagram. Go ahead, Trina.
I've been asking my students to, let's see.
We can hear you.
I've been asking my students to join me at Open Gym, and now I'm only doing things that they've learned in class for the bazaar. Is that okay?
That's fine with me.
I'm
Yeah.
assisting them, just, now I'm pointing out what to do, and I'm trying not to get up in the apparatus much myself, but I want to get them fluid in their parts.
Right, exactly. I mean, this is a performance session, so yeah, you're not teaching them new things. You're just helping them work on existing things, and that falls within, you know, our expectations for Open Gym in my opinion. I would say that might just be cautious with other students in the class, right? And make sure they understand that like that is the expectation. And they don't think that you're teaching them something new when they're in there, because we don't want them to get that feeling that like, oh, this is okay, right? This is what happens here. So it might just be a value to say, hey, just so you know, these are things we've been working on in class, and we're just fine tuning it for performance. So
Thank you.
yeah. All right.
Thank
Go ahead,
you.
Angela, you are up.
Hello, everybody. Well, we have Bazaar coming up, so I've been spending time on that. And so we still have opportunity for volunteers. If anybody has not signed up on the sheet yet, if you need it, I will send it out probably again on the Slack feed after our meeting. So you can see the options there. We've got some people for tickets already, which is lovely. Thank you. And so tickets are done. So there's a few other options there though that people can be available for. I would like to do a crafting event again on the 18th-ish, if that works, 18th or 19th. And just making some decorations and things. I'm gathering boughs. I think I told you all before. And so, yeah, so that's kind of where we are with the Bazaar. Things are shaping up. We have, I think, Jules, did you grab those posters? I'm sorry, I forgot to ask you earlier. And so we should have
I
some more
have them.
posters. Okay, thanks, Jules. So we have some more posters. So if you see some at the studio, anybody, just grab them and hang them up around and tell all your friends, invite them to the Facebook event. Let's really push out. We just have 2 weeks left here. So as much as we can push out will be, better for all of us, just to get more people in the door. And I do have a few vendor spots too. If you guys have any friends that have been kind of thinking about it, or you think maybe would be into it, then just have them email me, Angela@tahoflow.com. And we can go from there. I've got some parent volunteers doing the bake sale, organizing the table, and putting that together. And so again, if you have bake sale items, maybe let me know and I can put you in touch with Michelle and just to see how much we need. So I'll have a list going for that. And we have Paloma's being our MC. And so we're working together on got the run a show and got people's songs. So thank you guys. And just doing run a show and getting that all going. So I think this will be, we're trying to make it a production within a production as well. So it's, entertainment all around. And let's see, as far as other things going on, just kind of in the marketing world, Sarah is continuing to do our newsletters and doing an amazing job. If you guys have things that you really want to be coming up in a newsletter, you can let us know either, as you saw Jules did, in like the media folder on Slack, or you can just send me a message and say, hey, really would like this to be pushed. There's a few other things coming up to just in the future, I guess, just to put in people's minds. We're trying to get some North Tahoe Business Association, but no, I can't, NTCA, whatever that stands for. So
yeah, it's just another annoying acronym.
Community something, NTCA, that one. So looking to get some funding in the future, whether it's for Bazaar, most likely for Day of Healing Arts and Bazaar, kind of our two big like fundraising events for the season. And so that could be something in the future that we can, have a larger show if we have a little bit more money going into there. So just so that's in people's wheelhouse too, of just the things that we're thinking about on the back end of ways to move forward and expand. And I think that was all I had. Does anybody have any questions?
No, one thing I will say about the marketing piece is, I've said this before, I'm going to say it again, like, yes, we'll put your things in a newsletter. Yes, we'll talk about you on Facebook. Yes, we'll talk about you on Instagram, but you are your biggest advocate, and you are going to be the most valuable human to yourself to spread the word. Like when I always say, when you think you're being annoying, do it again. Because you're not.
yeah.
You're not being annoying enough. You're nowhere near annoying. You're awesome. Nobody cares. Like everybody wants to hear from you. They're like, oh, yay. Kelly invited me to her class again. Maybe I'll finally freaking go. So we all have crazy lives, right? And we have things that get in the way of us showing up for ourselves. Keep inviting your friends. Keep telling everyone you know, like they're not annoyed at you. They wish that you would remind them more, probably, because eventually they're going to walk in the door, and tell them about that BOGO, because it's a great way to get them in here and bring a friend. So be more
Totally.
annoying.
Yes. Thank you, Christine.
All right,
Right.
cool.
I think that's all I.
All right, Jules, you're up. What do you got? Classes and partnerships.
Awesome. Hey, okay, so I'm going to try to make it quick so we get out on time. I wanted to talk about the change that we are having in ClassPass right now. And in case you don't know how ClassPass works, somebody signs up for ClassPass, let's say they pay $80 a month, and they get certain credits to go to different studios that offer a wide variety of different classes. We're one of the only studios in Tahoe that uses ClassPass. But the downside is that we only get like $6 per person. So we have been losing money on some of the classes where just ClassPass people are signed up and none of our regular paying students. And so we're not making the money that, and there's no loyalty, right? Like ClassPass users, you might see them on the roster, but they're not coming back and buying ClassPass from us. So I took off most of our classes except the most popular ones. So if you notice a drop in ClassPass users in your classes, that's probably why. And then as soon as we see that there's people signed up for the class, we can open it up for ClassPass users. It's not perfect because it's a manual process every time. So it's just erring on the side of caution now. Let me know if you have any questions on that, but it's just something that you might see. The other thing is if somebody does come to your class as a ClassPass user, to try and like let them know, like, wow, you know, your favorite classes might not always be available on ClassPass, but these class packs are really affordable if you want to use them while you're in town. So that's the first. And then another thing that we've been thinking about doing as some of this like financial hygiene is to charge our unlimited students a no-show fee. Because as of right now, if you're an unlimited student and let's say you're new to the studio, you've only paid $59, you sign up for every class and then you don't show up for any of them. And it's a frustrating experience as teachers and it's kind of bad etiquette on our student side, but there's no consequence for it. So we're going to start charging them in the new year, a $5 late fee. And this is for, you know, if they have a really like legitimate excuse, it's really easy to like cancel them or for us to even remove that charge if they fight it. It's just a way for us to try and like clean up some of that etiquette so that they're showing up for the classes that they sign up for. Do you guys have questions on that? Oh,
I just think that's
head stuck in the hold on 1 second.
I just heard head stuck, but anyways, I'm just gonna say I think it's a really good idea because it is a bummer when somebody signs up and doesn't show up because you're kind of like, what's going on? Do I wait? Do I not wait? So I just think it's a good idea.
Yeah, I agree because I feel like it's hard to communicate to people like, oh, it's disappointing that you didn't show up because it's just like the next week maybe they do show up and then you're busy and it's kind of like, oh, so there never gets to be that kind of like expectation for follow through. So I like it too.
Another thing to remind you guys about too, we've gotten so much better at this, but we still have room to grow in making sure that we have all of our students' emails and their phone numbers and reminding them that they will not get reminders unless they are opted in. And those reminders are really, really valuable. So, because I have students in my fitness classes that will sign up for classes like months in advance and then they forget, right, that they signed up for them. But if they're opted in, especially to the text ones are so good because people look at their texts. So just say, hey, just take a look at your, or like if you're looking at your students' accounts, to say, hey, I noticed that you're not opted in to text reminders. Would it be okay to opt you in? Just so you don't, get these late fees that might be coming in January or for not showing up. I think for most people, they just don't know.
Yeah. And just a note, like on the back end, I cannot manually add people text. They have to do that themselves too. So that's another thing to tell people is if they're like, oh, just opt me in or whatever, we can't opt them into text. I can do everything else, but there's some Privacy Act thing that you can't. People must opt themselves in through text message, only text message.
And we've sent out multiple reminders and multiple messages to people about this, but this is not getting through to everybody. So like especially if you're like a really small class roster and you got extra time, just take a peek at their account and go, oh, I noticed that you're not opted in. You should do that. Anything else, Jules?
Yeah, on a similar note, because our team is growing and that's a really good thing. We're trying to just keep some of our own like internal processes more clean. So as a reminder for the folks that are on ongoing teaching schedules, especially when you're teaching courses, right? You might have some time between courses, and we want you to keep all of your benefits by using the gym, using the studio, having all of the classes available to you. So you can be without a month after your last ongoing class or your course and still have all those benefits. But we also are going to be a little bit, we've found out a way to like give me an email when somebody's account is coming towards the end. So now I really realize that we can re-up you so you're not coming to classes unpaid. And then for some of the teachers that we have now as subs that aren't teaching ongoing classes, they're still able to use the friends and family discount if they want to come to classes, and we'll give them a class every time they sub. So if you sub at the Ritz, that's twice. You get 2 classes at our studio. And for all the other subbing opportunities, open gym, same. So that's more of just a reiteration, but we're changing some of those benefits just so we're more clear with who's ongoing and who's kind of coming through the studio. There aren't any benefits. There are no benefits for folks who are coming through just to teach a workshop, because the benefits we want are for our teachers to know one another and to be able to cross-populate their students with other students. And so those one-off workshops aren't really the best opportunities for those. Let me know if you guys have any questions on that. And then last thing that I wanted to talk about was the January 20th aerial yoga immersion that's already up. I've signed up for it, and so has another student. So we have only 6 spots left. So it's a pretty small group just because we're limited to the number of hammocks that we're going to have. And it's exciting to have aerial yoga, to have that cross population between our aerial students and our non-aerial students. So the yoga immersion, we are putting it under the teacher training category in Mind Body. It just made sense there, but it is not technically a Yoga Alliance teacher training. So there's no certificate afterwards, but you're going to get 9 to 5 all day long, Saturday and Sunday, on the hammock to learn flips and transitions so that you can sequence on the hammock for a yoga class. So it's for yoga teachers, it's for aerial teachers, or for anyone who isn't a teacher, just really loves aerial yoga to immerse themselves for 2 days. So we had a couple of folks in our team want those slots, and we're offering $100 off from the $500 rate that you guys can use if you're on our team. Otherwise, it's a $500 investment for the weekend. So let your friends know if they are interested. Nikki Dean is going to be teaching it for us, and she's an OG teacher, has been teaching for 20 years, teaches at Mountain Lotus and Palisades, and is quite a human. So it's going to be an incredible weekend if you get a chance to make it.
Is it okay for a beginner to take that course, that weekend course? Someone who hasn't done anything before?
Yeah, I mean, if they haven't, but they're really interested in spending 2 full days on the hammock learning the way that we're going to learn to teach a class. And yes, but I don't know if that makes sense for them.
Yeah.
Do you have someone in mind?
Yeah, I have a gal that would really want to take an aerial yoga course, but I don't think she'd be proficient enough to take this weekend. Sounds more like a teacher training or someone who's more experienced. So maybe once we get an aerial
Yeah,
yoga
it's
teacher,
definitely a
come in
deeper
then.
immersion.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and
Exactly. That's
Can
perfect.
can I just chime in on this too? So I think Jules kind of spoke to this a little bit, but the reason why we're doing this is because we have team members who are interested in teaching aerial yoga and we want to offer aerial yoga. So I would like to prioritize those of you that have interest in that and make sure that you get on there because that is a very small class, right? It's only 8 people. So get on there. And then the other part of that is then we will put you on the schedule to teach if you want and or sub. So, you know, if that's something that appeals to you, make sure you get in there and get on there that schedule. Personally, like a lot of our teachers who teach yoga, there's crossover too, but those of you that are really proficient either on the mat or in the fabric, we have both, right? Or maybe some of you are both. The certification is not as big of a deal for me personally to put you on the schedule because I know you're a certified aerial teacher or you're a certified yoga teacher. And I think what you can really get out of this is, like Jules was saying, the transitions and the cues and what it looks like in the fabric. You already know anatomy. You already know, you know, the names of the poses. You already know those types of things. You just need to learn the cueing and how to move from pose to pose, and maybe just a little bit deeper practice how to make a special class for your students. So those are really the type of people we're looking at. We're not going to turn anybody away, but we want to have this as an offering at the studio. The way we're thinking about it and the way we talk to Nikki about it is our hope is to have aerial yoga on the schedule as a little stepping stone for people to get into aerial fabrics, right? So we bought the exact same fabric for the aerial or the yoga hammocks as we use for our aerial fabrics so that they can start to feel what it feels like and feel successful in there. So that's kind of where our head is at with putting this on our schedule. Cool. Anything else,
Sweet.
Jules?
Yeah, that was all I had.
All right.
Thank
Well,
you.
Nope, that's it.
Yeah, and then I just want to wrap it up. Just as a reminder, I kind of went over Alicia gave me some things. I already talked about all those. I want to remind you guys, if you haven't scheduled your staff reviews yet, please do. If you're an aerial teacher, they're with Alicia. If you're an ongoing class teacher, it's with Jules. If you don't know where you fall in there, just shoot us a message and we'll figure out who you're supposed to be talking to. And those of you that have already done your reviews, thank you. I can't wait to hear about them. The team will be filling me in as we go along. So that's all I have. Does anyone have anything else before we pop off?
Just wondering if Jules got her chair.
No, it's still downstairs.
Still
She
there.
needs to come get it. I already read her the riot act.
I'm
It's like,
getting up
"Come
Friday.
take the
Last Friday
chair."
was a weird day. So yeah.
All right. Thanks.
I'm really
you guys.
excited for it, Trina.
Thanks, you guys.
you.
Have an awesome night. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.